Indiana Congressman Jim Banks, chair of the Republican Study Committee, and Ned Ryan, CEO of American Majority. Congressman, there are a lot of challenges we're facing. I just laid out 4 of the major ones. Do you expect GOP leadership in the Senate to put and prioritize bipartisan deals with Schumer ahead of conservative priorities?
Well, we're going to find out over the next few weeks, Laura, because all of a sudden the House floor is busier over the next month than it's been over the last 2 years as the Democrats are trying to pass all of their unpopular items during this upcoming lame duck session. So this is an opportunity for Senate Republicans to block the radical Biden agenda and prove to the American people that they're up to the task. We're going to have what looks like a 2-seat Republican majority in the House starting in January for the next 2 years. I think it would have been a lot bigger if the American people would have trusted us more to be the last great defense against the radical Biden agenda. But it will be a majority. We need the Senate Republicans to step up to the plate and join us in fighting back hard. But do it now. Do it during this lame duck session when they're trying to stuff through many of the unpopular items that they haven't been able to do over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's going to be a cramorama. Now, Ned, we mentioned him in the angle, but today General Milley, he doubled down on letting Ukraine dictate our foreign policy. Watch this.
It's up to Ukraine to decide how and when or if they negotiate with the Russians. And we will continue to support them as long as it takes.
I guess as long as forever. Ned, we'll continue to support them no matter how many errant missiles end up in Poland, no matter how much money is blown that we can't track. Now, given how much we've already spent in Ukraine, and I think it's even more than we said, shouldn't we actually have a say here?
We should absolutely have a say. I mean, Zelensky is a corrupt oligarch who's a psychopath who clearly wants to drag us into nuclear war. Putin's a thug. Fair enough, but people are trying to frame this argument as a fight over democracy and freedom, and it's an age-old fight. I consider it more Bloods versus Crips, and we're actually funding it. I mean, this is a proxy war that the U.S. is primarily funding, so yes, we have absolute ability, if we had any sane leadership in the Western Hemisphere, to say we're not going to be funding this anymore. You're going to come to the peace negotiation table, and we're going to do it immediately. I mean, what's going on right now is absolute insanity. They're using the American people as an ATM to fund this war, which nobody has agreed to. It's not been voted on. And at some point, I would hope that sane people would show up and go, we're not doing this anymore. As we continue down this path, we creep closer and closer and closer to the potential of nuclear warfare. Absolutely insane.
Congressman, in case anyone hadn't noticed, we're out of money. Okay, we're out of money. We've depleted our military munitions. We're way down on recruiting. We're in a perilous position militarily. And yet, I guess it shouldn't be surprising that we aren't looked to under our commander-in-chief as a leader in the world any longer. So now French President Macron is the one who's kind of driving this push to peace talks, but he's doing it with President Xi of China. He said, I'm convinced China can play on our side a more important mediating role in the coming months to prevent in particular, stronger return to the ground offensives in early February. Congressman, why are we letting China take the lead role here? I mean, China's already eyeing Taiwan.
Well, it's not surprising. This is the weakest commander-in-chief we've ever had in the White House. And now, again, back to the lame duck session, they're requesting almost $40 billion more to send to Ukraine with no accountability, no inspector general, no strings attached, while we have a crisis at home on so many levels. America can't lead abroad when we're so weak at home. That's the bottom line. And Joe Biden continues to weaken us at home, and the rest of the world is laughing at us, and the world is a far less safe place with China rising and on the run and taking advantage of this moment of American weakness. It's pure insanity.
And Ned, when I hear